You are listening to Mason Street Retirement Insights. I am here with financial advisor Sean Mason, president of Mason Street Wealth Management right here in Fresno. And he is here talking today's biggest retirement worries and headlines for us. And Sean, we just passed the 96th anniversary of the 1929 stock market crash that helped usher in the Great Depression. And CNBC and New York Times financial reporter Andrew Ross Sorkin has come out with a new book about that time. It's called 1929. And he tells 60 Minutes that the market run-up we've seen lately mirrors the overpriced bubble of 1929. Take a listen.
I would argue to you that the economy is being propped up almost artificially by the artificial intelligence boom. There are hundreds of billions of dollars that are being invested today in artificial intelligence. This is either a gold rush or a sugar rush, and we probably won't know for a couple of years which one it is. We will have a crash. I just can't tell you when, and I can't tell you how deep. But I can assure you, unfortunately, I wish I wasn't saying this, we will have a crash.
So, Sean, have you seen clients nearing retirement come in with too much market risk in their portfolio? And if so, what's a way to reduce that without sacrificing too much growth?
Yeah, believe it or not, we're still seeing residual effects of the crash of 1929 leading into the Great Depression. Families we work with, even today, talk about their parents living a less than life due to fear of spending because of the memories of those times. But Andrew makes some good points, and I plan to read his book. I haven't done that yet. There are some similarities between the market now and 1929, but there's also some differentiating factors. Yes, stock values are overpriced based on current earnings, which goes against investing fundamentals. But in 1929, they were using margins, which allows investors to use borrowed money to invest. But they were using these margins to a higher degree of excess than now. This caused those investors to have to sell these investments when the market dipped, which had a kind of a snowball effect, causing a market-wide sell-off very quickly. Most analysts are comparing current market conditions more to the dot-com bubble in 2001, when the internet was supposed to change the world, and eventually did, but not soon enough. They weren't able to figure out how to monetize the internet in time, causing an investment bubble, which eventually burst. That's being compared to the AI boom now. The difference is AI has been monetized already and is generating revenue. And this is giving investors confidence in projections that earnings will catch up to stock values. The next couple of years will be telling for sure. Andrew's almost no risk prediction that there'll be a crash someday, we could almost for certain count on. But as always, the question is when. As an investment firm, there is an element of our investment strategy being based on probabilities and understanding the market and economic environment. But a family's risk tolerance is always the priority. And Casey, to your question, yes, we see families' portfolio with far too much risk per their tolerance. A deep market correction could significantly alter their quality of life based on their current situation. It's essential to align the investment risk with the family's risk tolerance, both emotionally and pragmatically.
I mean, nobody wants to miss out on growth, but at the same time, people are worried about taking on too much risk. So, Sean, what are some practical strategies that you recommend for shifting a portfolio towards more safety while still keeping that door open for growth, especially with inflation sticking around?
It's a great question. And yeah, we have to capture growth of the market to outpace inflation and taxes, but we also have to ensure we don't go down with a ship in the event of a correction beyond our risk tolerance. And there are strategies we can use to accomplish this: asset allocation, structured notes, stop losses, and there are insurance companies that will guarantee no market loss with the opportunity to participate in market gains. Strategy is key, and prioritizing time horizons for every dollar. Consider timing of when each dollar will be spent and determine its risk tolerance. The money you spend in 10 years can tolerate more risk than the money you'll spend in 2 years. This takes comprehensive planning. So I encourage our listeners to give our team a call at 559-847-0039. And you want to call right now, because for our first 5 callers, we're going to provide you with your own individual retirement planning assessment, including our portfolio x-ray to analyze your investment holdings And we're going to do this with no charge. It's that important. Again, that number is 559-847-0039. And our team will find a good time for you to come into the office or have a Zoom meeting.
If you are ready to talk through your retirement plan, Sean is ready too. We've got our teammates standing by at the office right now, ready to find you that next convenient time on his calendar. You've just got to be the one to make the call. 559-847-0039. Like Sean said, he will do this first meeting completely complimentary. If you are one of those first 5 callers, no strings attached. So take advantage while we've got these spots available. That number for you again, 559-847-0039. Or you can always visit Mason Street retirementinsights.com, and you can get connected with us that way. All right, Sean, Dave Ramsey, that guy, he is stirring up another debate. He says you should take your Social Security at 62, even if you're working, as long as you have the discipline to invest it wisely. So wanted to see what you think of that, Sean. Do you find that most of the people who come to you have the knowledge and the discipline to do that?
Well, that would be considered controversial for sure, but it could be the right strategy for some. Higher risk investments would be needed to make that work, especially for Social Security benefits paid before full retirement age. If you're still working, earned income will reduce the Social Security benefit by $1 for every $2 earned, over $23,000 per year. So for most of my clients, that would completely eliminate the Social Security paycheck, so there would be nothing to invest. People come into my office often with questions and confusion about what they hear on the radio from the Ramseys and the Ormans of the world. We have to be mindful of the perspective we take when listening to them. There's rarely a one-size-fits-all approach. Everyone has a different situation, and specific circumstances will change the results of each strategy. And Casey, you bring up a good point. Not only do we have to determine if a strategy is good for our individual circumstances, but we also have to be honest with ourselves. Do we have the discipline to implement and then manage it? Especially with Social Security, many people don't realize that Social Security is one of our most valuable resources. The amount of spendable lifetime income we receive from our Social Security benefits can change significantly based on the strategy.
You know, when folks start thinking seriously about retirement, it's not just about how much you've saved. There are so many moving parts to consider. And with taxes always changing, you got the ups and downs of the market. You got the fact that people are living longer now than ever. It can feel like there's a lot more to juggle. So, Sean, how do all these factors, taxes, market volatility, and the potential for a longer lifespan, how does that change the way that the math works when someone's planning for retirement?
Well, that's such a great example of how our individual circumstances should determine the strategies we employ. Taxes being at least short-term more predictable, and market volatility being less predictable, and then lifespan being a function of probability. These are all factors that completely affect the results of any strategy, and why stress testing all the relevant scenarios is critical to reach favorable outcomes.
There are clearly a lot of factors to consider here. And that's where I think incorporating the help of a professional sooner rather than later is going to make all the difference for you. So let Sean be your second set of eyes. Let him help you understand where you stand and what adjustments might make sense for whatever your personal situation may be. This is what an introductory assessment with him is all about. It's a complimentary consultation to help you build a plan that's balanced, that's flexible, that is built to last. So give us a call, 559-847-0039. We will find you the next convenient time on Sean's calendar, 559-847-0039. We have got our Mason Street teammates standing by at the office right now to help you out. Or you can always visit us at masonstreetretirementinsights.com, and we will get connected that way. All right, before we go today, Sean, I like to talk a little sports with you when I can. And our listeners, they may not be familiar with the name Amari DiMarcado unless they're a big fan of the Arizona Cardinals. However, he's become pretty infamous for a touchdown that he should have scored several weeks ago, but he lost focus and he dropped the ball as he crossed the goal line. CBS Sports called the action, or should I call it inaction? Take a listen.
DiMarcado off to the races. Touchdown. A 72-yard sprint. He may have dropped the ball. Did he drop it early? You see him kind of put it on his fingertips, but did he have control before that thing broke the planes?
Ruling on the field of a touchdown is under review.
So Tennessee actually ended up getting the ball and coming back to win the game. Pretty heartbreaking for this guy. But I was thinking about this, Sean, from a retirement perspective, and fumbles can also happen when you're about to retire. So talk to us about how you can help your clients maintain their focus all the way past the goal line, not dropping the ball too soon.
I actually watched that game and had a friendly wager with a friend of mine. I, of course, took the Cardinals. If the Cardinals would have won that game, it wouldn't have been such a big deal, but it ended up being one of those mistakes that changed the outcome. And it's a great example of what can happen in retirement. I think that all of the noise from media, coworkers, family about the latest investment or strategy, the shiny penny, makes it hard for people to stay focused and remember the goal. As an advisor, it's my responsibility to the families I work for to continuously be in contact and reviewing our plan, refreshing on the strategies we're implementing, and advising on any of their life changes, new desires, or changes in the economic environment.
So this error that DeMarcado made, it was considered unforced. So it was really just a foolish mistake. So Sean, how can you help your clients avoid making mistakes like that when it comes to their retirement planning?
Well, Casey, you said in your question, it's all about having a comprehensive retirement plan in place. I see it every day when families come in for a review and we walk through their plan and discuss the reasons why we're taking distributions from their IRA instead of their Roth, or why we're changing one of the investment models from growth to dividends, or why we need to amend the trust. Just explaining the rationale changes the way they feel. And I've found through the years that people seem to have more confidence and certainty and live a more stress-free lifestyle knowing they have a plan and someone who has their best interest as the priority.
Sean, before we go today, we're giving away these spots for your complimentary introductory retirement planning assessment. You're waiving your consultation fee for our first 5 callers. So kind of just remind us how those meetings go. What should people be prepared to discuss? Should they snag a spot on your calendar and come in to meet with you for the first time?
Yeah, it's a really good discussion. You know, a lot of people come into our office with the question of, I don't know what I don't know. And we can't be having that in retirement. So we want to walk you through some elements of retirement that you should be thinking about, that you should be considering. It's going to generate questions. And then we want to have that discussion to try and get to know who you are, get to know what's important to you, get to know what's concerning, so that we can help you figure out a path moving forward.
Sean, fantastic insight today, as always. Thank you so much. That is going to wrap it up for us today here on Mason Street Retirement Insights. Big thank you to you for spending part of your Saturday with us. And listen, we know we've covered a lot. So if anything we talked about today got you thinking about your own retirement strategy, I encourage you not to wait any longer. Give us a call, 559-847-0039. You can claim your introductory retirement planning assessment. You can sit down with Sean face-to-face. His office is right here in Fresno, or he can meet with you virtually as well. But he will do this for you completely complimentary if you snag one of those first 5 spots, and you can work together to find that best path forward for whatever your personal situation may be. So that number for you again, it's 559-847-0039. We've got our teammates standing by right now, ready to help you out. I'll say that number one more time so you can make sure you've got it written down. Keep it handy, 559-847-0039. Or if online's better for you, we are at MasonStreetRetirementInsights.com. And from there, it's got all the ways that you can get connected with us. That is going to do it for us this week here on Mason Street Retirement Insights. As always, thank you so much for joining us. And we will be back next week, same time, same place, with more great insight from Sean Mason, president of Mason Street Wealth Management. Take care.
Mason Street Wealth Management, MSWM, is a registered investment advisor, and the opinions expressed by MSWM on this show are their own and do not reflect the opinions of Motivate Investments. Registration is not an endorsement by securities regulators. Investment advisory services are offered through Motivate Investments, an SEC-registered investment advisory firm. All statements and opinions expressed are based upon information considered reliable, although it should not be relied upon as such. Any statements or opinions are subject to change without notice. The information presented is for educational purposes only and does not intend to make an offer or solicit solicitation for the sale or purchase of any specific securities, investments, or investment strategies. Investments involve risk and, unless otherwise stated, are not guaranteed. Information expressed does not take into account your specific situation or objectives and is not intended as recommendations appropriate for any individual. Listeners are encouraged to seek advice from a qualified tax, legal, or investment advisor to determine whether any information presented may be suitable for their specific situation. Past performance is not indicative of future performance. By contacting us, you may be provided with information about insurance products, including annuities. Offered through Sean A. Mason, California, insurance license number 0B54860. The firms are separate entities. Annuity guarantees rely on the financial strength and claims-paying ability of the issuing insurance company and are not offered by Motivate Investments. Read your contract for restrictions, limitations, or penalties. MSWM is not licensed in all 50 states. To find out if MSWM is licensed in your state, please call 559-892-0002.